So, from Joe Biden to another American for this week's Live Picks, American artist Dale Chihuly. That's not a name most of us are familiar with, but his glass sculptures are all over Singapore.
That's right, including many hotels like the Fullerton, Ritz-Carlton and Resorts World Sentosa, and now at Gardens by the Bay as well, where 140 works are displayed in Chihuly's first major garden exhibition in Asia.
Ahead of its official opening on Saturday, senior culture correspondent Ong Sorfen is here to share more. Hello Sorfen. The Gardens by the Bay showcase includes 25 large-scale sculptures. These are intricate works of art. I have to ask, how on earth did they make their way all the way from the US to right here, Gardens by the Bay?
The Chihuly Studios is actually based in Seattle. So the Seattle is also home to Amazon.com. So it actually took a while for the sculptures to get shipped out because, as you know, last year was pandemic year. So everybody was buying stuff from Amazon. So the shipment actually got delayed for a few weeks in Seattle before it made it out of Seattle. Then along the way, it did a stopover in China. So the organizers were kind of worried that it would get stuck in China over Chinese New Year. But all the boxes arrived in Singapore in March. And the Chihuly Studios also sent a team of 11 of their experts to Singapore to help install all these large-scale installations. So they had to go through quarantine before they helped set up all the sculptures around the gardens.
Wow, sounds like really quite an undertaking.
Yeah.
So, Sorfen, I'm actually quite a big fan of Chihuly. I've seen, his sculptures at Ritz-Carlton, for example, and I've also been to the Bellagio in Vegas, where, in the lobby there's this beautiful sculpture on the ceiling. So, I have plans to go to Gardens by the Bay to check this out. So, what are the key pieces that I can look out for?
I think that each of the conservatories has a very beautiful star centerpiece. For the flower domes, you need to look out for the floral field centerpiece, which actually incorporates 3 Chihuly sculptures, and the plants around it are actually planted to echo the colors. So you've got like begonias and hydrangeas, and they're all very pretty in pinks and purples. And in the Cloud Forest Dome, there's this really absolutely stunning piece that's kind of like 10 meters, which is like about 3 stories high, and it's hung off of a 5-story, at 5 stories up. So it's actually the first time that a Chihuly piece has been hung next to a waterfall. So once you walk into the Cloud Forest Dome, there's this like stunning visual. But actually my favorites are outdoors. There are these 2 sculpture works that are actually installed on ponds. So the ethereal white Persians at the Serene Garden Pond is really quite stunning because they darken the water with ink so that there's this perfect reflection of the white sculpture that looks like lilies in the water itself. So it's a perfect Instagram moment.
Well, thanks very much, Sorfen. Now, I've already made arrangements to go and see it with my family. Dale Chihuly Glass in Bloom officially opens on Saturday.
More admission details can be found at Gardens by the Bay's website. I should also mention that you can use your Singapore Rediscover vouchers.
That's right. Well, next up, the jalanjalan.me website that offers curated online guides for hidden food gems and small businesses in neighborhoods like Jalan Besar, Ang Mo Kio, Bedok, Chong Pang and Clemency. You can even choose what to focus on. Do, eat, shop and see.
Our colleague Eunice Quek is here, and as a food correspondent, she naturally went for the eating option. Well, Eunice, tell us more about the idea behind these guides. And I understand you've been on the food-centric tour of Jalan Besar. How was your experience?
So the guides like you guys mentioned, are meant to actually get you started on exploring your neighborhood, checking out, what's, some hidden gems, small businesses, get some idea of like maybe their heritage as well. So actually to give us, kind of a sense of what the guides offer, that's why I was taken on a hosted tour of Jalan Besar. It was actually really fun exploring the area, meeting the local business owners. Some of them, kind of gave us a bit of insight into their businesses. That was really nice. And of course, well, like you mentioned, my focus mainly on eating. So some highlights for me were actually the soba at Rewa Soba, the bao making at Chin Sin Huan, which is actually run by the second generation of the Tanjong Ru Bao establishment. And well, we had a nice round off at with some tiramisu at the Tiramisu Hero Cafe, a cafe that I haven't been to in a while.
Right. So, Eunice, you went on a guided tour, as you mentioned, but, for somebody like Jan and myself, we just have to rely solely on the website. So is that easy to navigate?
Well, yes, you can follow the pins on the map. Click on each of them, they'll give you a brief description of the location. Or you can actually go through the different categories that you mentioned, the do, shop, see, and eat. And like we established, I've paid too much attention to the eating part, but that is not all that the site offers. It's more than just food stops. And if you don't know where to start, you can always download a sample half-day itinerary, and they can, kind of get you started on what to do and where to go.
Thanks for sharing more on jalanjalan.me, Eunice. That was food correspondent Eunice Kwek.
And on to possibly your next binge when it comes to Korean dramas. We're talking about Sell Your Haunted House, which stars Dang Nara as a realtor who can exorcise spirits from haunted properties.
Meanwhile, Jong Yong-hwa, a singer but no stranger to acting, plays a con man. He pretends to chase away spirits with scientific methods in order to swindle money.
The title, Sell Your Haunted House, tells you the gist of its story, but journalist Jan Lee is here to share more. Jan, you've written a brief review of Sell Your Haunted House, describing it as horror with heart. Can you elaborate on that?
So as you mentioned, the crux of the story, she's a real estate agent, and then she goes into haunted properties and she helps to exorcise the place, basically. So you actually get the stories of the ghosts as well. At least in the episode that I watched, there was pretty touching backstory to the ghost that was haunting the property, because he had died after a massive failed investment. And then he basically haunts the place, and there's a bit of a mystery there as well to uncover, how did he die, because it was him and his friend both died, and then you find out that actually he didn't kill himself, because everyone thought that it was a suicide situation after the failed investment, but it was actually one of the guys killed the other guy. And then you find out why they want to haunt this place, because they have regrets, or they have things that they cannot let go of, things that they wish they said to their family that they did not say to their family, and so on. So there's actually quite a bit of human interest in even the ghost stories as well.
Right. Well, that sounds very interesting already, Jan. But what else makes this series so binge-worthy for you?
Okay, so I watch it on View, and I'm not sure whether the episodes are cut up on View, but it makes it easier to watch, because usually K-drama, the episodes are very long, which is one of the things that sort of it detracts, how do I say, it makes me less willing to commit as much time to each episode when I see that it's 70 minutes, and then I would just be like, do I have 70 minutes to spend today just sitting here and watching this entire episode for 70 minutes? But on View, the episodes are about 30 minutes each. So I suspect that overall the episode count will be larger, because the episodes are cut into smaller bits. but it does make it easier to digest, and it makes it easier for me to be like, okay, today I'll just watch one, and then maybe tomorrow I can watch another one, or maybe when I'm having dinner then I can watch another one, you know. So it's in a bit easily digestible bits, and also it doesn't hurt that I've always like had a thing for Jong Yong-hwa since he was in CN Blue, and he's like the lead singer, and like, you know, in here he shows off his body with this like great swimming pool scene, so that doesn't hurt. Yeah.
Well, you know, I can really relate to the part where Jen says, you know, 70 minutes, whether I can spend, yeah, so I prefer...
Who has that kind of time now, right?
Exactly. In any case, also, I'm a huge fan of horror, you know, genre. Yeah, so probably I'll catch that. Well, thank you so much, Jen. You can watch Sell Your Haunted House on the View streaming service. As we wrap up today's live picks, remember there is tomorrow's Friday section if you want more.